So let me ask you, this whole impeachment thing, and along with the budget argument, you have McCarthy on Fox News about a month ago saying, if they want to shut down the government, I mean, that'll shut down the inquiry. Is this the game that we're now playing, that we're going to come up against the budget again? And we got to pass this. We got to pass this. Is that what's happening?
Well, I mean, I wish I could give you a little bit better news on that front from the standpoint of, how we're proceeding and leading into this, because it just came out of a Republican conference meeting, and it wasn't where I wanted it to be. I think most of the people that I represent who are sick and tired of a lawless president running over and trampling the rights of the people that I represent, endangering us with open borders, spending money we don't have to fund a bureaucracy that wants to make criminals out of gun owners and pistol braces and universal background checks, that wants to weaponize the Department of Justice against its own citizens and a former president. And again, I want to come back to the border. The tip of the spear right now as a Texan is the 200 and something thousand people that were encountered in August, the 200 and something thousand people in July, the guy in Pennsylvania who was just on a manhunt, who was here illegally and stabbed his girlfriend 28 times after being arrested in Brazil, the 11-year-old boy in Ohio who was killed by someone released by the Biden administration. I could go on and on and on. And your Republican conference, all too happy to campaign on border security, your Senate Republicans, all too happy to campaign on border security, won't do a damn thing about it. Look, here is at the end of the deal. We have to use the power of the purse to force change. So we are trying to force Kevin and the leadership of the Republican conference to understand that now is the time to force Biden to come to the table. They are so afraid of a shutdown that they are unwilling to, stand up and lock arms and tell President Biden no more.
Is that true? Wait a minute. Hang on just a sec, Chip. Is that true that they're afraid of a shutdown? Because I think it works to their advantage every single time.
So they don't believe that. I walked them through, for example, in 2013, I was Senator Cruz's chief of staff. Point number one, he picked a fight on Obamacare funding. Why? Because we knew it was about to get implemented and would decimate American health care. I believe the last decade of health care prices, inability to go get doctors, inability to have affordable insurance, I think is borne out that we were correct. Republicans walked away from that fight. But guess what? The American people were energized by a senator going to the floor saying, make D.C. listen, and I want to fight for you. And we gained the biggest Republican majority in history the following year. We gained 13 seats in the House. We gained, I think, maybe 14. We gained 9 seats in the Senate. The fact is the American people want us to fight for them. I believe if 218 Republicans locked arms and said, Mr. President, you're going to secure the border or you're not going to get funding, I believe we would win. But unfortunately, we have some members of our conference who are unwilling to take that fight. We're going to continue to force it. Those of us in the Freedom Caucus, those of us in the 20 from January, and we're going to continue to force the issue among the Republican conference and say it is our duty to stand up and fight. I am open to different paths on how to do that, Glenn. I mean, you got to figure out how to negotiate to get things done. But what I'm not open to doing is rubber stamping the 2023 spending levels that were passed last December by Pelosi and 17 Republicans who should never have supported it.
So let me ask you, when you were on the show after the last time we did this, you said no more. The Republicans get it. Or, you didn't say it that firmly. You said it looks like maybe this time they get it. And the plan was to pass all of these bills so they'd all be waiting for the Senate. So you blame it on the Senate. What happened to the House passing all the individual bills?
Well, the debt ceiling deal that was consummated, unfortunately, on Memorial Day blew the path that we had properly chosen when we passed Limit, Save, Grow. It set the spending levels at an unacceptably high level, which is basically close to the 2023 levels of spending. So we then set out to try to fix that. And so we were in the process of doing that in June and July. I don't believe we should have broken for August. And when we came back, we should be moving forward bills and reducing spending. But the leadership couldn't get those across the finish line because, frankly, they were spending at higher levels than you had 218 votes to spend. My argument was we had 218 votes for Limit, Save, Grow. That was at the level that would be a modest return to pre-COVID level spending. It would be a reduction, a significant reduction, but, basically pre-COVID 2019. It's not like that was a paragon of, limited government virtue. We just wanted to scale it back. But we couldn't get agreement on the spending levels. And frankly, there were some members in our conference that were stubborn on a handful of the policy issues. So here we sit. So my belief is right now, the path forward is pass the DOD appropriations bills to fund our troops, pass a bill that will fund government but contingent upon hardcore border security like the H.R. 2 that we passed in the spring, send that over to the Senate and dare them to blink. That will, and then have that fight. And if they won't fund border security and fund our troops the way we send it to them, to take out the woke garbage and stop funding abortion tourism, then that's on them. That's what I think we ought to do.
So you would pass something, though, for Social Security so the safety net doesn't go away, wouldn't you?
Social Security is fine. That will be taken care of. I think we need to fund troops to make sure that that's taken care of. I think we need to have border security attached to a CR that we believe will get the job done. And then if the Democrats won't fund that, that's on them. Then that's their shutdown and they own it.
Chance of that happening?
We're working on it. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day right now, it is my view is when is it going to be enough for Republicans to do what they always campaign on doing? That's what this is about.
No, Chip. This is not about that. This is the last chance the Republicans have. This is it. If you know why people aren't paying really attention to the Hunter and Joe Biden scandal, which is the most dangerous scandal ever in our history, if it's true. The reason why we're not paying attention to it, most people, is because they don't think anything's going to be done. And if the Republicans drop the ball yet again, they have just a little bit of power and they can't wield that power, they're done. Who is going to vote for another Republican? I already worry that Republicans won't be able to win because there's so many people that are willing to sit on the side, rightfully so in some ways, because these people don't do anything but lie to us. They say they're going to do it, they get the opportunity, and they fail every time. The Republicans are done after this, and I think that's what this is about. Sorry to yell at you, Chip.
Glenn, look, I agree with you, and I agree with your frustration. All I can say is that we're trying to lay bare what is happening in the swamp and make it very clear to everyone watching who's trying to fight and do, and what I meant when I was saying this about when will it be enough for Republicans to do what they say they will do and campaign on. What I'm saying is what you're saying, is that is what the voters are expecting us to finally do. And, I listen to my colleagues. I listened to some of them this morning, and they say something like, well, we never win a shutdown fight. They always blame us. Glenn, I said, guys, why do you think that is? Because you self-defeat. You initially announce right out of the gate, we're not going to win this fight. Well, of course you're not going to win the fight. Like, can you imagine a head coach in a football game going out and going, well, we never win these games. But go out there and, try. It's absurd. If I hear one more person bring up the art of war and talk to me about their strategy, about how, if we do this, we'll win. And I heard somebody this morning say, I don't want to pick a fight that I don't win. When have we won? Glenn, in my lifetime in Congress, tell me, I'm 51. Can you tell me over the last 3 decades when you've thought, oh, boy, that Republican conference, they really nailed it there?
Never.
Right. So my point is force actual trajectory change in a shift or get out of the damn game.
Yes.
That's my view.